Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon. Some of you might have joined from India, and there may be many people across the globe who also must be seeing this live talk show. That's the first episode and debut for this episode, where we are going to discuss everything which is helpful to electrical engineers to build their dream career. And guess what? Who is with me today? We have a very special guest with us today who is having 16 years of rich experience in power plant projects and has worked with many MNCs. So I congratulate and welcome Mr. Agnivesh Singh to spare some time from his busy schedule and come to this first show with us and sharing the screen with me to share his experience with all of us. And I also welcome everybody who has joined us in this live talk show. So now I am going to take Agnivesh also. Soon you will be able to see him. And let's take this opportunity to welcome him in a great way. So, welcome everybody once again in this talk show for engineers by engineers. Stay tuned to it, where you will be getting a lot of clarity about your building your dream career. And if you're a fresher, this is the most valuable conversation you must have ever heard. So stay tuned to it till the end, because we are going to have a Q&A session at the last, where we will be taking your specific questions. And guess what? Agnivesh will be sharing his experience and giving you some guidance on it. So join me together to please welcome Agnivesh Singh. Welcome, Agnivesh. As I told, we are very glad, and it's my pleasure to have you on this debut talk show of me, where the main motto of this talk show is to help the freshers, the engineers who has just passed out, they just completed their engineering, and electrical branch being the most terrifying, I would say, because I remember when I wanted to take an admission in electrical branch. It was really a tough decision for me, that how this branch going to give the outputs for me, how this whether this will work for me or not, what kind of profile I'm going to handle, and myriads of questions in my mind. But there was only one thing, that I liked electrical concepts. So with that one intention, I chose to go for electrical engineering, and rest is the history. So today, our audience would like to know from you, how was your experience, what is your life story, how was your journey throughout the college, and your work experience, what are the problems you are facing, pros and cons of the profile which you are handling or which you already handled, and much more things we would like to hear from you. So the stage is all yours. Over to you, Agnivesh.
First of all, thank you very much, Nirav, for inviting me, because I always feel, how we can contribute to the society, how we can help the youngsters, and the most satisfaction I get in even in my company when a new graduate engineer trainee or a new trainee comes to our office, and I'm able to guide him for his future, and I'm able to share my experience. So thank you very much for this wonderful platform. And electrical engineering, why I chose, because I was good in physics and mathematics. I used to,
Mhm.
imagine the natural phenomena and natural laws. So wanted to understand more, wanted to visualize those things. And electrical engineering is something where you can visualize those phenomena. You can say if physics is an application, physics is a language of science to understand natural phenomena. Electrical engineering is a place where you can apply those things. So
Mhm.
definitely, it's very interesting. And when you are studying in college, you are just, that is the thing where you are theoretically doing those things. Sometimes in labs, small models are there to see those applications. But once you come in industry, it's very, very exciting, because there you are able to
True.
visualize how the current, electrons, voltages interact with each other. And I always advise my youngsters, whoever comes to our company, if you have missed, read the Finman's physics lectures. This is the
Mm-hmm.
book I read in college. Unfortunately, I could not read in a school. Actually, this should have been read in a school itself. Finman physics lecture, definitely it will create a lot of interest in physics. And
Mm-hmm.
electrical engineering is just an application of physics. Of course, maths is another language which help you to solve the mysteries of electrical engineering. So I would advise, if you like physics and maths, electrical engineering is the best way to apply that knowledge and live that knowledge.
Right. But here, one more question I would like to ask. Generally, while selecting the core branch, there is always a confusion, in terms of whether to select between mechanical and electrical. Even I was having this confusion because if you see from the exposure point of view, mechanical is more preferable, have more wide range of applications, and pretty easy to understand compared to electrical engineering. So where we have to deal with electromagnetics and electromagnetism, where you can't actually see all the things, it's just your imagination where you learn all the concepts. But in mechanical, surely you have a chance to touch everything, to feel, and to see with your naked eyes what exactly is going on there. So was there any confusion while selecting your branch, and how you then ended up, or it was just first choice for you?
Yeah, electrical engineering was a first choice for me. There were two reasons. Reason number one, I was good in physics and mathematics. Reason number two was that electrical engineering, it opens more avenues in the future also. Like now the
Mhm.
world is led by software engineers, because everywhere wherever you
Mhm.
go there are software applications. So as an electrical engineer, it is very easy for you to jump into software arena as well. In fact,
Mhm.
most of my friends, who are from school now, they are in software industry, although they were from electrical engineer. So one avenue is electrical engineering, second avenue is software engineering. Of course, from mechanical also you can get into those things, but the electrical engineering give you the platform of let's say logic, imagination, because as a mechanical engineer there will be more of a thing, you are designing things or you are executing things which you see, but as an electrical
Mhm.
engineer you have to imagine and design your stuff, or code your do the coding. So I would
Mhm.
advise, like, if you like to imagine more, and if you like electromagnetic theory, if you like to play with current and voltage, electrical engineering is best. Mechanical engineering, if you like thermodynamics, of course mechanical engineering is good. If you
Mhm.
like structural engineering, mechanical engineering is good. And there are people like once I remember when I was working in Reliance, after the completion of Reliance new refinery, Reliance became the biggest refinery in the world. I used to stand on a there was a thing called deaerator floor. So it was like
Mhm.
almost you can say 6 or 7 stories, very high point in the refinery. From there, I used to see the refinery, and I used to feel very good that I was part of this construction. So
Wow.
mechanical is something, when you make a big building or when you make a big stuff, big machines, like even in our power plant, the people who are installing the gas turbines, generators, those are mechanical engineer. So if you
Mhm.
want to see your creation, mechanical engineering is the thing. But if you want to imagine, if you want to solve the toughest problems by just imagining the problems, by using Laplace theorem, Fourier series, so these things, then electrical engineering. Electrical engineering is more about imagination.
Yeah, right. I also had a same experience because I started my career with SR and got a chance to start with power plant itself, HRSG 220 megawatt combined cycle plant it was. And it gives a different feel when you are part of a power plant. Of course, other profiles are also very good. There are a lot of things to learn from each and every profile. Uh, Technically and commercially also, because engineering people mainly feel that afterwards it is purely technical thing. Of course there are very precise profiles where you will be handling most of the technical things, but there are many profiles right now which also combines your commercial and other skills. So definitely, I know this feeling how grateful it is to be a part of power plant where almost every electrical equipment you can see, touch, and you can see the operations. So one question I would like to ask you here is, how was your journey afterwards, like after taking an admission in the engineering? Because then, when it comes to reality, where you need to perform, where you need to understand all those things, practicals, and was this as per your expectation, or was this exceeded? uh, when you already took an admission. So can you just share on that? How was your basically your experience on your college life?
Yeah. So I was someone who used to enjoy life. Like academics was one side, and always I believe that fun should be there in the life. It's not, sometimes parents say just complete 12th, then you will earn and you can have fun. Then once you get into engineering, they say, oh, complete engineering with good marks, you'll have fun. Once you get into job, they say, do the hard work, you will get promotion. So there is a mindset of that kind. But my mindset was, there is a very, you can say life is maybe 75 years, 80 years. So you should enjoy all the time and you should do hard work at the time. And I was lucky that I was part of APMIA, Institute of Technology and Science. They gave a lot of extracurricular activities, co-curricular activities. And I believe in engineering, if you have these things also, it's very important. Because people like me, I can study only if there is a fun. Like I'm not someone who can study 12 hour or 8 hour. I'm the one who can study 1 hour, 2 hour, but the quality, education. And that is only possible if I have fun other time and I'm happy. So I'm very thankful to my college that I had that opportunity. Even when I joined industry, so the life has been a journey. So at one side I was learning in the industry. At other side I was having fun watching movies, playing sports. Even in Reliance, I was part of cricket team. I was playing cricket. So and like right now, I'm approaching 40. So I feel that if you have these two parts, you will be healthy. Healthy, it's very important because nowadays you are hearing about blood pressure, diabetes, heart attacks. All these things
Mhm.
are coming because of stress. So don't
Right.
take so much of stress that it affects your health. Always enjoy your life and live it like a journey. Like in a journey, you travel some distance, then you take rest. You eat good food.
Mhm.
Sometimes you have fun with your friends. So live like a life like a journey. Don't take too much of stress because of the job or because of the education.
Yeah, very great piece of advice, Agnivesh. Thank you for sharing this. Any great experience you want to share from your college life? Why I'm asking this question particularly because nowadays it has become a rat race, and ultimately the two things are very important. Gaining the score, scoring high, having the good marks. This is also an expectation from the parents because they are now investing a lot of money in even engineering, uh, and also to start with a good job. So have to balance in all those things. And from your point of view, what will be one or two piece of advice where you can balance this? The life can be more easy if you can give some framework to our viewers that they invest less and the outcome is more,
Yeah. So
particularly
I.
studies.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So I believe there is a misconception that your future is related to your marks only. So number one thing is marks is just a qualifying criteria. So once you are appearing for an interview or appearing for a written exam after your graduate engineering program, maybe they will ask your marks should be more than 60%. Some companies, some startups would not even ask that. So take it as qualifying criteria only. Don't take it so seriously. And important thing is, once like right now I'm here, I don't remember my marks there. Like I scored this much or that much. The flashback, when you see in the flashback is friends, because the friends
Hmm.
which we developed in college or even in school time, still they are with us. If I need any help, my friends will help me. Not because I was competing with them, because I was cooperating with them, playing sports with them. Even our faculties used to call our class a drama company, because we used to have a drama in every tech fest, and a lot of students in our class were actors. So we were doing acting, and today what we remember is friendship. So don't get too much involved in the rat race, because this is just a qualifying criteria. If you score well, that's fine. But finally, when you go to the company recruitment, like a written exam or an interview, your aptitude and attitude is very important. And
Hmm.
aptitude, they will not ask you engineering question. Like most of the companies from my time, I remember, they will ask you logical reasoning, they will ask you verbal quotient. So improve your logical reasoning, improve your communication skills, improve your English, because that will help you to qualify for the interview. And interview, finally, your confidence, your attitude, your communication skill again. So because what industry believes is technical knowledge is just a language. Like you have already studied that language in engineering college, now they will train you in their own way. Every company has a different parameters or a different way of training people. So when you are getting as an engineer trainee, they will mold you in their own way. Like Reliance, when I got into that, my written exam only had aptitude questions. There was no
Mm-hmm.
technical question. So if you feel
Okay.
that only by scoring marks you will get there, no, it's not a case. Even in Infosys, they are asking you puzzles. So they are
Mm-hmm.
judging your intelligence, and once you qualify, then you go for interview. Interview is all about confidence and attitude. Of course, engineering is something, because if you don't score more than 60%, maybe they will not call you for written exam. So don't get into this rat race. Go for comprehensive development of yours. You should be good in everything, even current affairs. Your knowledge should be good. Like there are a lot of my friends who went to Air Force or Army.
Mm-hmm.
They were very good physically, plus they were very good in current affairs. They will see their debate, their strategy skills. So there are many different fields. Everything asks for different things. But most important thing is your leadership quality, communication skill, aptitude, attitude, and strategy, of course.
Right. Great. I think you have shared a very good insight. Here, I have one question. Then, what is the right time to start working on all those skills? Because it's a 4 years tenure, and people think that, I have 4 years in my hand. Initially, I concentrate on my studies, and later on, when it's a time to get into the job, then I will think about my aptitude, knowledge, and all those things. Even I made this mistake, but then I corrected it at a very right time, before getting out of the engineering, and that arrived me a very good results. But what do you think, according to you, this should be built from the day one, or initially you should try to concentrate? Because in electrical, it becomes, when I'm talking to young people, young students in engineering, they say that we are not getting time. So first of all, time management is something they are struggling entire 4 years, and even after that also. Second thing is, even after taking the admission in engineering, they don't have a clarity, that where they want to head. So what are your views on this? Because ultimately, the time what they invest 4 years in engineering not becomes exactly zero, but then there is something cherry on the top which they need to gain, to make themselves different from the rest. So what is your advice on this?
See, my advice is, of course, now they are in engineering, so they cannot go back in time. But I say, parents, start doing these things from your childhood. And
Mm-hmm.
for me, I have seen that there is a big difference because of schools.
Mm-hmm.
So because like you will see, in your areas, there are very good schools like international schools or DPS or CBSE board school, then vernacular medium. So somehow, because of this schooling, there are some kids who gain upper hand because of
Mm-hmm.
their communication skill or their school interest in co-curricular activities, extracurricular activities. But anyway, now once you are part of engineering, you cannot go back in time. So
Mm-hmm.
now you have to cover up. So learn from whatever examples you see there. Anybody can be example, teacher or maybe a fellow student, your senior. So learn from them and invest time in these things. Maybe 50-50%. Like I was the one who used to invest almost 50%. Like watching English news channels, and what in fact, not only because of for learning communication, but also because of the quality of news. Although nowadays I have stopped watching English news channels also, because of
Okay.
the content now they have
Yeah.
all about politics and these things. But try to watch the programs which also give you interest and
Mm-hmm.
also improve your communication skill. Second thing is aptitude. Aptitude is very simple. Just take any logical reasoning book, verbal reasoning book. You can see the cat cat papers. Even you can join cat mock test papers or cat coaching in fifth semester. Generally they are opening for fifth semester. Even there is nothing wrong even if you join from first year. So if
Mm-hmm.
you can invest in these things, there is no right time. Like the early you start, it is better. But of course, as I told you, we cannot go back in time, so we have to cover as much as possible. There are people who learn very late in life, like example of Rahul Dravid. He was
Mm-hmm.
always known as the wall of cricket.
Yeah.
In test matches he was very good, but at the end of career he was scoring very fast half centuries and very fast runs at the end of his
Good.
career. Look at Dinesh Karthik. He is, I think,
Yeah.
now 37, and suddenly he is scoring 15 23 balls, hitting sixes. So you can learn at any time, so don't lose your time. Whenever you
Mm-hmm.
realize this, start learning.
Great. So, if I sum up what you told, there is no right time to start learning anything, whether it's your soft skills or whatever it is. Uh, the day when you realize the things is the right time, right? That's what
Sure, sure.
you say.
Yes, yes,
Mainly in the
definitely.
school, if it is possible for the parents, but this should be inculcated by the parents, I guess, because in school it's totally a different story. From the parents, there is a total different pressure because their expectations are even more high, that they want to make them doctors, and of course engineering is then now very common, but then always the expectations are very high than what we can achieve. It's good to have goals, to set the goals very high, but then also to see the reality.
Yes.
And second thing is, now when I get this feedback from the students in engineering, most of the students are also coming from the regional languages, or where they are studying their entire schooling in regional, and once they get transferred into the engineering, this is entirely into an English medium. So this change of medium is a very big shock for most of the students, even though many are very brilliant technically. But then how to deal with this? Do you have any framework or kind of advice where you have seen people overcome this problem, and they can get help from your experience?
Yeah, yeah, sure. I have seen many examples, even from my class, from AITS. So, important thing is believe in yourself. You know, some of my friends, when we were in college, technically they were good, but when
Hmm.
faculty was asking them question, they were not able to express themselves because of course, communication challenges. But
Hmm.
today, those same friends, they are working in Australia, USA, and they are doing very well in their career. Now they can express themselves better. Of course, I was not with them how they learn, but important thing is they must have believed in themselves. And
Hmm.
it's nothing. It's just a language. A 4 year old, like our kids, how much time they learn to learn a language. Maybe
Hmm.
by 2 years they start speaking some language. By four
Yeah.
years they are effectively communicating. Let's consider Hindi or Gujarati. So same
Hmm.
way, English is also same way. Important thing is what is the will of yours to learn that language, which will be helpful in future. And like if you're targeting for something, for example, right now in India, if you are in India, so it is always helpful if you know English or Hindi, because most of the offices they have English medium communication, and Hindi is also very helpful. If you are staying in Gujarati is very helpful. So
Hmm.
try to learn those languages. If you have friends like Hindi speaking or English speaking friends, try to use their language, and don't think somebody will laugh at you or not. Like one of my seniors, he was in Reliance. So like this is not good thing, but there were people who were laughing at him because he just started to learn
Hmm.
English, but he never got offended because he knew that I have just started. And today this guy is working in a power plant in UK at a very senior position,
Wow.
and now speaking very good English. So it's nothing, like it's a language. Just take it as a language and don't get offended. And try to have friends who respect you. Try to
Hmm.
not have friends who will make fun of yours, because a friend should help you, not discourage you from developing yourself or growing in your life.
Right. This is a very good topic you have touched, and I would like to discuss more on this. As you told that you were spending a lot of times with your friends, and these are now the great memories for you. But when you enter into the college, everybody is new for you, and then it is very difficult to judge the quality of people there, because the person with whom you mingle affects a lot in your growth. And this personally I have also seen in my entire journey. So would you like to share some experience on this, that what is the right way to build your community, or to whom with you should group, who can motivate you, or what was there in your mind, when selecting entirely new people in your life?
Yeah, so actually, like my philosophy is everyone is good, at least in their thoughts. So everybody does whatever they feel it is a right. Of course, that may be wrong for you or may not be right for you. So important thing to develop a relationship is to respect their thoughts until unless it's not harming you. If it is harming you, you can maintain a distance. But try to respect everyone's thoughts, everyone's sensitivities. In fact, when I was in college, because we used to have fun, I was not like that. but slowly I have learned about things. Important thing is to respect everyone, to be nice with everyone, because if you'll be nice with everyone, that thing will come back to you. Sometimes we think we are nice to everyone, and there are guys who are making fun of me or bullying me. But at
Right.
some point of time, you will realize that if you're nice to people, you will not get into arguments. And at later life, this nicety, there will be a return on that thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
In college, I would not say the effect is that much, but definitely in industry, and sometimes even college also. If you're nice to your friend, maybe in future he will be the one who will forward your resume to another company, or recommend you for some job. Because in
True.
industry, networking is very important. It's not all about your
Mm-hmm.
talent. It's
Mm-hmm.
also
Mm-hmm.
about how good your network is, because you should be at a right time with a right talent. uh,
Mm-hmm.
let's say in India, if you're thinking about government companies, they have the this interviews, written exams and interview. But for private company, if you are planning to develop a career in private companies, for experienced people, they go with network, because they will hire some consultancy, or maybe
Mm-hmm.
directly they will get some resumes and then they will interview. So you will not be one person in a billion. Maybe you will be one person in just maybe a pool of 1000 resumes. But how to get into that 1000? If you have a friend who knows about that vacancy, and how he will
Right.
consider you, if you have been nice with him, if you have been bullying him, making fun of him, I'm sure he will not consider you. So these
True.
things give you return only, not only that it's a good thing to be a nice human, but it gives you return.
Okay. Great. Very nice. That was so profound. Let's move on to then the another phase of your life where now let's assume 4 years are completed. You have a degree in your hand, and it's a time to show your talent in the market. Uh, Before that, I would like to know how was the trend of campus interviews at your time. So was that so common in your college, and was it a struggle for you? And how did you landed with your first job?
Yeah, so we had only, I think, two campus interviews at our time in our college. Our college was new. Our batch was first electrical engineering batch and second batch of the college. So it was still developing. I believe now they must be having a lot of campus interviews. But that time only two companies came. I think one was Wipro Call Center, and one was SCL Infosystem. So
Hmm.
Wipro Call Center, I got selected for one phase, but second phase I could not qualify, which was the final phase. Then HCL Infosystem, I got recruited by HCL Infosystem, but within 15 days I have to leave that job. The reason was because it was a marketing job, and my boss was telling me to say a lie to customer. But my problem that time, we are very honest and very ideal kind of guys. So I said I cannot say a lie. I will leave this job. And I also realized that time, because this is earlier I used to think I'm good in communication, I'm good in convincing people, so let's go for marketing, I think I will do good. But there are some aspects which are hidden. You can realize only once you get into that job. And once I got
Hmm.
into job, I saw that you are deceiving people sometimes. You are saying lie. Maybe it's not true for all the companies, or all the branches, or all the cities. But here
Hmm.
he was saying me, and I left job within 15 days. So first job, it's very important to land up a good job. But sometimes even if you land up a good job, don't back off from seeing a bigger vision. Because
Hmm.
sometimes what happens, if you don't qualify, or even if you qualify and then leave the job, maybe there are bigger things for you. And sometimes we are very eager that within 1 month I should have a job, but sometimes maybe within 1 month you will get a job which is not suitable for you. So you should
Hmm.
always look a job suitable for you. You have to take risk, because still you are very young, your parents are there to support you. So don't fall for things which you don't like, because
Hmm.
it's not about 1 year. You have to live this life for next 40 years. So try to choose a job which suits you. It doesn't matter whether
Hmm.
salary is less or more, company is bigger or less, but the profile, or the the job nature should suit you. So then I start preparing for gate, but in between I got Reliance Industries Limited. And once I got there, I saw a thing which I like, a vision which I can realize. And there were things like interesting, very interesting. And Reliance is a place where people see dream. Dhirubhai
Hmm.
Ambani started with a dream. His son Mukesh Ambani, they see dreams, and a very very big dreams, and they are
Hmm.
visionaries. And once you work in their company, you learn a lot. You learn to see dreams, and you learn to realize those dreams. Like they were making
Hmm.
biggest refinery, biggest and most complex projects, biggest poker, like wherever, when in my training everything was biggest or largest. Almost like
Wow.
they were saying that they have laid the cable, so many cables, that if you make a road of that cable, it will go to the moon. So you can imagine the,
Oh, wow.
complexity and the giantness of this vision. He was a great visionary, and I felt that this is the place where I want to be. But within 4 years, I realized I want something bigger, because, as I
Mm-hmm.
said earlier, life is a journey, and there are people who see vision from the starting. I was not that kind of guy. I used to see my dreams in phases. So first phase was over. I saw a dream, because in Reliance I was a customer. I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
be expert on a product called excitation control system. So I chose the world's most reputed company, General Electric, and
Mm-hmm.
they are the manufacturers of gas turbines and excitation control system, generator protection system. So I wanted to be expert in that. So finally I went there. So important thing is, at different phases of life, you will have different dreams. It's not
Mm-hmm.
that you have to live your life in one company. This is an advantage of private sector. So go for a thing which you like at that point of time, and at the early career, take risk.
Great, great. This is something not everybody can do to back up or backstep when you are into such a situation where the profile is not suitable to what you want to do, and doesn't suit your personality also, and that's not where you want to build your career. But I would like to ask one thing here. What was that one dream for you after getting graduated? So, did you do any market survey, that what are the kind of profiles in the market, and any research was done before you could end your college? And how did you choose only Reliance, or this was just an opportunity in front of you? Maybe everybody may not get the same opportunity. So, what is the mindset and the roadblocks in this journey?
Yeah. So honestly saying, there was no vision, no planning. Only thing was getting a decent salary. So decent salary and a job which I will like, and I can continue in that. So very simple thing. So once I got into, I got this opportunity, Reliance. So it was
Hmm.
just fitting into the bill, like a good salary, decent salary, a big company, India's biggest company. So that was the thing. So I think at that age, maybe there are very few people, maybe one in thousands, who have a very big vision, and then they go for entrepreneurship, because if you really have vision, you will try to do something by your own. But of course, to
Hmm.
be entrepreneur, you need a backup. Like maybe your parents can give you backup, but I think most of the people, let's say 90%, 99%, I think mostly they look for
Hmm.
a decent salary and a good job which suits them. So I was that normal kind of guy who was looking for a decent salary and a good job which suits me.
Okay, but in nowadays, where the competition is very high, I was studying one survey where 3.5 to 4 lakh people, only electrical engineers are getting graduate every year, and in such a high competitive market, to land up to the right job where you can sustain, where you enjoy your job, as you told that because if you're not doing the right job, it can also become a lot of stress, and it can also affect your mental health, physical health, everything. So in the current scenario, do you think it's a right way to do little bit of survey in the market, of the companies which are recruiting, what are the profiles, and what is the demand in the market? Because electrical is a vast subject, and from electrical also people can even switch to IT and other fields. So that's where confusion comes, that whether the first job is the right job for me, or the second option is to just try whatever opportunities you have and select the best out of it.
Yeah, so it is always good to survey and always good to talk to your seniors and faculties, because they will be a kind of mentor at that time who will give you market data, where are the jobs, because that time definitely you need guidance. And also your friend circle, because sometimes a friend will come across advertisement that there is a vacancy in this company or that company, and then he will
Mhm.
circulate to all your friends, and you can go and appear for interview. So definitely the strategy is required, and we should all try to survey things, try to be updated about the opportunities. And I would say the important thing is, we should self evaluate ourselves.
Mhm.
This is very important thing, because before you go for interview, you know whether you will qualify or not. It's just you can
Mm-hmm.
give mock interviews with your seniors, or even sometimes I used to have with my father. He used to give me feedback where I'm wrong or right. Even mock test papers, if you can get
Mm-hmm.
hand on that one. So because if you go prepared, there is a big chance to qualify. Plus, you
Mm-hmm.
will also self-evaluate whether you are there or not. Let's say if you want to qualify for Infosys, or even in electrical, if you want to qualify for BHAL, NTPC, Reliance, SR, any company, try to get a hold on their test papers and try to see what you are scoring. Because at least me, if I talk to myself, I was a very good self evaluator, because whenever I used to write something in the paper, I knew how much I will score.
Wow.
Like I
Mm-hmm.
remember in when I was in 12th standard, I saw my marks in my dream, and next day the result was going to come out, and I got almost out of 5 papers same number whatever I saw in my dream, and one number was different. And this was
Wow.
not something magical. This was only because in my mind, in my subconscious mind, I knew how much I
Mm-hmm.
will score.
Yeah, because
So
you might have practiced it in your school days, and then you might have also known your capability. So this is how the amalgamation comes, where you can perfectly guess the outcome
yes,
of
yes.
your performance.
Yes,
Great.
yes. Yeah, and what is the distance? Let's say if you are aiming for a multinational company, so if you the difference between what is required for qualifying and what you are scoring is very huge. Maybe there is some gap either in your preparation or either in choosing the right company. So there are
Mm-hmm.
many ways. One way is if you are already prepared, if you are already standing there, you can qualify for MNCs if you are looking for a job. The second way is there are people who are becoming entrepreneur. Few of my friends have become entrepreneur, and they are doing very well in their businesses,
Mm-hmm.
much better than people working in MNCs. There is a
Mm-hmm.
third way. You start with a small company, like whatever opportunity you get. Many
Mm-hmm.
of my friends, like in Baroda, there is a company called Voltamp. So
Yes.
what they did was they joined Voltamp. It's a transformer company. So they are designing transformers. From there, then they, because this is small company, not giving you very good salary. So from there, they learned this transformer design, transited to ABB, and then finally they are in the MNC. So this is a third route. And some people, they qualified for Gujarat State Electricity Board, and they are in the government company. So life doesn't stop there. Like there is short term, there is a long term.
Mm-hmm.
So try to self-evaluate yourself. If you feel that you can qualify for MNC, go for it. If you feel you can do your own startup, that is a great thing. That will be a dream come true for a lot of people. And third way is take whatever is suitable for you at that time. And if you are not
Mm-hmm.
able lucky, or able to prepare yourself in last 4 years, now you can prepare it. There are a lot of people who develop themselves after joining the industry. Join a company which is which you like, or a industry where you feel that you will improve your talent or improve your ambitions. Go in that
Mm-hmm.
company and try for a bigger things. Then there is another easy route, fourth route. Fourth route is Gujaratis are very intelligent in this. I have seen India competition is very high. So what they do
Mm-hmm.
is they just go to Canada, Australia, or New Zealand, or USA or UK, because our education system is there are some bad thing also about it, but there are many good things about it. Our
Mm-hmm.
level is so high that when we are competing with foreigners, we are much better. So there is another easy route. If you think you cannot qualify here, go for these things, and you can have a career in another country where you will be competing in a much better way. Because I
Mm-hmm.
believe Indian education system is developing gems. Not only education system, the kind of culture we have, the kind of intelligence we have, because of our daily life challenges, that one of the most intelligent breed in the world is Indians.
Yes, yeah. Even Narendra Modi has told that whenever there is, scarcity of engineers, India will be the first country to then supply to the
Yes,
world.
yes,
So, really, a positive thing in favor of India.
yes, yes.
Uh,
And I
Here,
would like to
one
add
thing.
one more thing. I have worked
Yes.
with almost 20 nationalities, because in GE I used to work in many countries
Mhm.
and a lot of different manpowers. I witnessed out of these 20 countries, only one country was matching up with our intelligence. That was China. So right now, India and China, because if you see their intelligence level almost equal to us, sometimes they are even better. But others, definitely, if you compete with them, you will be the winner.
Right. Great. So, Agnivesh, I want to know here two to three things which are really important to develop, or which the recruiter looks for, when they are interviewing. Of course, I don't know whether you must have already got chance to recruit some of the people in your industry, or but of course I know you have a lot of experience to then tell us that nowadays, in this 21st century, where the skills are also at most important. So, what is your view on this?
Yeah,
Of course,
so
I mean, aptitude is one thing. So that's a paper-based thing. You perform, and you will get the results how much you have performed. But when you are facing someone face to face in an interview, like there is a technical round and there's an HR round. So, what are the important aspects recruiters are looking, particularly in this period?
yeah, so especially when you are a graduate engineering trainee, as I said, technical knowledge is more of a qualifying criteria. In a very few companies, you will find a question paper which is based on technical, and even if it is technical, questions will be very very simple. So if
Mm-hmm.
you have a decent knowledge, you will qualify for those things. Now the second step is aptitude papers. So like Infosys, TCS, Reliance, most of the companies are going for aptitudes. Of course, government companies, they are asking technical question, but those technical questions are not difficult if you are preparing for gate. Like if you are focusing on government companies, try to prepare for gate. If you are focusing for private companies, try to prepare for cat. So you can choose, you can prepare both also. There is nothing wrong in your developing aptitude also, a technical knowledge also. So you can
Mm-hmm.
start preparing for gate or cat. And I'm sure if you do well in gate and cat preparation mock papers, you will qualify these companies. It's not a big challenge. Then you go for interview. In interview, again they will judge your attitude, aptitude, and honesty. Honesty is very
Mm-hmm.
important. How they are judging your honesty? With your flow of thoughts, because someone who is very honest and giving an honest answer, he has not to think a lot about it, or he will not stammer in the interviews. So when we say confidence, confidence is also honesty, because when you are speaking with confidence, they know this guy is honest, because they are not
Mm-hmm.
only trying to choose a person who will suit, who's talented, but they are also trying to choose a person who will stick to their company, who will fit into their dream.
Mm-hmm.
Like Reliance, I will tell about Reliance. So Reliance has a dream of building biggest refinery, biggest company. So they are trying to take people who are very confident in executing those projects. So
Mm-hmm.
they are seeing their confidence. Like some guys. One of my friend I used to always tell. Maybe he was very honest. Like in interview, if interviewing officer says, "Can you do it?" He will say, "No, I can't do it." So maybe he's honest. His question, his
Okay.
answer is correct. But thing is, interviewer is asking, you can do it. That also means you can answer in a positive way.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, sir, I don't know this thing, but if I learn, or if you give me training, I can do this, or I will learn this. You can learn by yourself also. There are so many training programs here. You can develop a skill outside the company also. So
Mm-hmm.
always have this confidence, we can do it. It's not only proprietary of Obama that we can do it. Everybody can do it if you realize in yourself. So when you go to interview, have this confidence. How this confidence would
Great.
come? Try to have as many as mock interview before the interview, because then you will be
Okay.
prepared. What questions can come and how
Mm-hmm.
effectively I will answer. Because sometimes he will ask a question, you are not prepared, you will
Mm-hmm.
start stammering, or maybe your thoughts are not coming to your mind. So always go prepared with your mock interviews.
Right. Great, great. Very great advice you are giving here to our audience, and I believe surely this will help. One thing I would like to also add here, as per my experience, that whenever you write your resume, also it is very important to be authentic in writing your resume, because the interviewer doesn't knows you, and whatever you are presenting yourself is only through the resume what you have he is having in his hand. So generally it's my experience that he goes through it. First of all, he studies your resume and then tries to pick some of the questions where he feels that the person has tried to trick here or tweak here some of the data, and that's not authentic or correct, and that's where you get caught. So avoid all these things when you are writing your resume. Keep it short when you are a GT, because you don't have a lot of experience. All what you can add is what Agnivesh told, how authentic you are, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses. And of course, if you have done internships and projects or kind of accolades you have. Great.
Another
We.
thing I saw, of course, this is more applicable to once you get more experience. Art of writing a resume, as you said, it should be short and concise. That is one thing, and try to use keywords. Once you go to Naukri.com or a Monster.com, of course, this
Mhm,
is mostly for experienced people. But
mhm,
sometimes a lot of companies who are not that big, middle-sized company or a small-sized companies, they are also using this platforms.
Mm-hmm.
because most of the MNCs or big Indian corporates, they have their own interview structure. But the small companies and medium size, they recruit from the consultancies. So when you write resume, try to see the keywords. Try to
Mm-hmm.
study or survey naukri.com, master.com, or whatever portals we are using here. We are using indeed.com. Like, what
Mm-hmm.
are the keywords? For example, electrical maintenance engineer is a keyword. So
Mm-hmm.
somewhere it should appear, because it's coding. When this consultancy guy, he's not technically very experienced. The guy
Mm-hmm.
who is shortlisting your interview, he doesn't know anything about technical. He's maybe some
Very
from
true.
some other field. So
Yeah.
when he will find your resume on the internet, he will look for the keyword C language. Maybe he will try to find someone with C language. So
Mm-hmm.
whatever try to match it with the keywords on the job searching website. So your resume will get shortlisted earlier than others.
Okay. Very good. Uh, Now let's talk about, you have a lot of experience with Reliance, and particularly I would like to focus on your electrical maintenance profile. So this is generally the toughest profile, where you are directly dealing with high voltage live equipments, and many times I have seen that one or two small mistakes can lead to a big hazards. So for whom this profile is, or who should choose this? Of course, this is not for everybody cannot go into a maintenance job. And what kind of skills or the diligence you need to be in such kind of risky profiles?
Yes, so definitely there is a very, very high risk in electrical industry, especially wherever there is a high voltage. Like in our company, we have 400 kV GIS. In a flash, it will kill the person if there is something goes wrong. So
Hmm.
very important thing is, I talked about self evaluation. So here is also self evaluation.
Hmm.
When you are working on some equipment, you should know the risk, you should know the
Hmm.
hazard. So before working, you should know these things: what is a hazard, what is a risk. Like when you are working on a high voltage, there is a safe distance you have to maintain. There are
Hmm.
personal protective equipments which you should wear. So never miss those advices from the EHS staff of your company, and even your seniors. Always we have to follow safety rules and guidelines.
Hmm.
And most important thing is, you should be aware of your surroundings, because a
Hmm.
lot of times what happens, in the morning you have got the permit to work. When you go there, maybe after some time there will be some change. Like one
Hmm.
incident I remember in Reliance Hazira, there was a permit issued for 6.6 kV switch gear, one bus section. So normally we have two bus sections joined by a bus
Hmm.
coupler. So
Yeah.
when permit is issued for one bus section, it is dead. But the other side is live, because other bus section is still live. And the bus coupler which is joining both, half side is dead, but half side is live.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
somehow this guy, he was a technician, he was not knowing, without asking permission of his engineer,
Hmm.
without asking shift charge engineer, he opened that bus coupler, and on the spot he died. So
Oh.
there are risks definitely, and
Hmm.
but important thing is, once you are prepared, nothing will happen to you, because
Hmm.
follow the rules of safety, nothing will happen. Yeah, there
Hmm.
are some accidents also. Like recently, one of my friend, a very talented guy, his only mistake was he was standing in a wrong place. So in
Hmm.
power
Hmm.
plant, there was a fire, and suddenly some person opened the door.
Oh.
Again, this was a lowly educated person, but he applied his mind. He opened the door, and all the fire came outside and engulfed everyone surrounding that area. So
Hmm.
my friend, he got burns, and later, after 3 days, he lost his life. So there is a very high risk, in any industry where you are working at site.
Hmm.
Being a mechanical engineer, civil engineer, or electrical engineer, everywhere the hazards are different. Somewhere hazard is work at height, somewhere hazard is lifting, crane, somewhere hazard is electricity. But all core branches have this kind of risk. So when you are getting into industry, first job, always learn before doing anything.
Hmm.
In interview we say that be confident, or go with confidence, but in the job, don't be confident without knowing the thing. So first know the thing, understand the hazard and risk, then only go and
Right.
do the job.
And you should clearly say no also in the industry. Normally what happens when your boss assigns something, some assignments to you, and then you cannot say no, and it's you cannot gather the vital informations how you should perform the job, and just in a hurry sometimes it even can transform into a fatal incident. So one very important question here, like you have seen many such incidents or accidents, I would say, and how do you maintain then your mindset? Because next day, maybe a nearby power plant you are working, or in the same substation you have to go. So how you balance this fear? And because at one point of time, definitely enjoying the job or the profile is one thing, but when such thing happens around, it is very difficult to uh, maintain, a mental balance. So do you still then focus on what is your expertise, what you have been enjoying in past, and you continue, or some point of time you think that no, I should also maybe choose something better?
Yeah, so I think fear should always be in your mind, because there is a hazard, you cannot avoid it. But once you apply the control measures and sometimes even eliminate the job, like I was talking about 400 kV GIs, it is totally covered. So even
Hmm.
if there is any flash or anything, nothing will happen to you. But
Hmm.
if you go and open some compartment and touch the thing, then nobody can save you. So if you are applying the control measures and taking care of the risk, the risk will maybe 0.0001%, and that risk is on the road also. Like when you are traveling,
Hmm.
more people are dying because of the car accidents. So important thing is how to eliminate the risk or how to control the risk. So you have to apply your mind, and definitely this risk is much lesser than, you can say, road accident. So this is not
Hmm.
something because of that you will be afraid of doing this job.
Hmm.
But just be cautious, and those things, nothing will happen to anyone. And yeah, definitely you should have fear, because if you don't have fear, then you will not apply the elimination of risk and control measures. And most of these things are happening to people who don't have the fear or don't have the knowledge.
Hmm.
Because the first incident, I said, because of the person who opened this bus coupler compartment without knowing we should open it or not. Even
Hmm.
second incident, because of someone opening the door. So, and another thing is, always I apply is probability. Always you look for probability, like road accidents. So road accidents in Qatar, there are people who are driving at 150 kilometer per hour. But if you drive
Hmm.
at 80 kilometer per hour, the chance of accident goes down,
It's very less, yeah.
by a lot. And even if you land up into accident, the seriousness of the accident would be much lesser. Like in
Hmm.
India, when you're driving in the city 40 kilometer 50, even if there is an accident, it's a minor scratch or something, you don't get injured. But if you're driving at 150, there is a high chance that the person can die because of that accident. So same way goes into the industry also, probability. Like one of the good thing, when I was in GE training center, they explained me, as an engineer, you have to be at site for a very limited time, because most of the times machines are running. Then you are
Hmm.
going there for maintenance. Maintenance will be mostly in shutdown condition. There is no risk because
Hmm.
the bus bar is dead and nothing. Sometimes you will go for the live job. So there are guys, who will sit inside the electrical substation and do their office work also there. He said there is no need, because this is a place where there is a hazard. So why to
Hmm.
sit there? Whatever office work you have, do it in office and go there only for work. So if you
Hmm.
go there for a very less time, the probability will be reduced by that time. So always think about the probability of risk. Even when we are making risk assessment in the industry, we talk about probability and CVRT. So how we are
Hmm.
evaluating risk? We are taking a hazard, then a risk. Let's say hazard is a GIS, gas insulated switchgear, and a risk is electricity. Then we say probability. Probability is, maybe, let's say there are points, some predefined points. Let's say one. Then there is a CVRT. CVRT, let's say 16. So risk is 1 multiplied by 16. So now,
Hmm.
how I can reduce the CVRT, or how I can reduce the probability, we have to think about it. So use
Hmm.
your maths here. It's a simple maths. If you use your maths, nothing will happen to anyone.
Okay, wow, amazing. Thank you, Agnivesh. One last question I would like to ask you is, at some point of time in your life, you must have thought that I need someone who can properly guide me, or you must have met your mentor in your life, who has not just given you some basic knowledge, but who has walked the path, has seen all the challenges, and has properly guided you. So how a experienced person can put a value addition in, especially the ones who are freshers having no experience, and what what things can be helpful for them if they hire, the mentors basically.
Yes, yes. So definitely there is a requirement of mentor at every stage. Even if you have, you are a GET or you have 16 years of experience, when I started Reliance. So there was one of our mentor, Mr. S.V. Patel. So, he was the one who used to show us with example, because his technical knowledge, the way he used to, deal with the technical problems, almost, solving problems single-handedly, he became my idea. So I
Mm-hmm.
decided I want to become like him, because you need your ideals, everywhere. Like if you're playing cricket, maybe Sachin Tendulkar is your idea. You are in the industry, you will choose one, and if you
Mm-hmm.
choose the best one, definitely you will become like him, or sometimes even better than him. So
Mm-hmm.
when I, joined Reliance, Mr. S.V. Patel became my, mentor, or my ideal. I wanted to be like him, even wanted to resolve the problems the way he wanted. Like, in electrical engineering, when the fault happens, you have to see at the protection relay data, and with the help of that, you have to, find out where the problem lies. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
very, very simple problem, just two wires will be swapped, and if you go in a traditional way, it may take you 2 days or 3 days to solve problem. But if
Mm-hmm.
you use the, electrical technology theory, some theories, and your imagination. So there was one problem, there was one potential transformer, it was showing a wrong value. So I used my maths, and finally I came to the conclusion that there is a y phase. In y phase, two polarities are swapped, and this I identified in 2 hours. And I
Mm-hmm.
told them, check this one first, because already point problem is identified, and they checked this one first, and the problem was resolved. It would have taken 3 days to resolve the problem if they go in traditional way. So always choose your
Wonderful.
ideas correctly, and definitely you will become like him. So
Mm-hmm.
even whenever I used to, like, I joined GE, so I saw few people, like, they used to call him expert of excitation or expert of LCI. So I
Mm-hmm.
decided there should not be a single problem which cannot solve on my own.
Mm-hmm.
In GE, when I was working, I remember a story. I was in one of the power plant, and there was a product. It's called LCI, load committed inverter. It is used to
Mm-hmm.
start the gas turbines initially, when to give the inertia a starting force. Once it
Okay.
comes to a certain speed, then gas will drive the gas turbine. So I was commissioning this thing, and this thing normally has a lot of problems. So my
Mm-hmm.
service manager, he asked, "Do you need any support or anything?" So I was so confident at that point of time that I said, if I need support, then I don't deserve to be here. So I will solve
Wow.
whatever problem comes. And luckily, this was started in the first time. I resolved all the problems beforehand, because I was the one who always used to concentrate on the lesson learned. Because, if you talk to your friends, if you talk to engineering and design, you will identify the problems before it comes and try
Mm-hmm.
to resolve. In electrical engineering, I believe all problems can be resolved if you have lesson learned history, or if you
Mm-hmm.
think about it.
Right.
I talked about mock interviews during the interview. Similarly, during commissioning, also I use this. During commissioning,
Mm-hmm.
before the real startup, we simulate the startup. Once we
Mm-hmm.
simulate the startup, almost till the end point, whatever problems come, we resolve before really starting the gas turbine. And
Right.
G, they used to say, if you can do a one-click start, then that is like the biggest achievement. And we did a lot of things in our team only because of
Mm-hmm.
simulating these things before the real startup.
Wow, great. So two things what I feel, despite of a lot of hazards, fatal incidents you have seen, it's still you feel that this profile is really fascinating, and there are a lot of things to learn now also at this point of stage where you have 16 plus years of experience in your life. Uh,
Yes.
with this, I would like to thank you very much for joining us and sharing your wisdom. It was really an informative session for all our viewers, and not only one or two, but there will be many points where they must have got a lot of clarity in their life. And I wish to have you once again to our talk show. Of course, you have opened this forum, and I once again thank you very much. So we wish you
Thank
all
you.
the best, Agnivesh, for your future endeavors,
Yeah, thank you
and
very much. And I would
stay
like to add
connected.
one more thing which just came to my mind.
Yes,
If
please.
you don't want to get into police or crime investigation, in electrical engineering we are also kind of investigator, because when
Right.
problem happens, it is so complex. Almost on a weekly basis, we have some problem where you need to investigate. You see the signature of
Troubleshooters.
the problems, and
Yeah.
finally try to reach to the real fault. So if you want to investigate outside the police academy, this is the place, electrical engineering.
Great sentence to end up this session. So thank you very much, those who have joined. If you have any questions, maybe you can also directly contact Agnivesh on LinkedIn. He would be very happy to guide you in your career. And also to me, you can book a call one to one, and I would be really happy to build your dream career. Thank you very much, Agnivesh, once again, and thank you
Thank you
all
very much,
those who
Ms.
have
Brad.
spared your time and joined us. Have a
Yeah, it
nice
was a
day.
pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye. Take care.
Bye bye.